And another thing, what happens when you don't have feelings? Sometimes I feel tired or something, and I don't feel any feeling. Is that like you're releasing resistance, or?
Well, it is not an uncommon thing to be in your physical body and to have not practiced being aware of your emotions. Sometimes, if you're not practiced at it and able to consciously maintain your alignment, then you develop patterns of not paying attention. But it's never a good idea. It's sort of like putting Novocaine in your hands so that you don't feel the hot stove. It's a very, very hot stove. I can smell that it's hot, but I'm not sure, and so, ow. But if you have Novocaine in your hands, then you don't feel it. You smell it, but you don't feel it. And so we want you to care about the way you feel. It's what this whole discussion has been about. We want you to not try to figure out things that aren't easy for you to figure out. We want you to not spend time asking the same question over and over again, because it just keeps you from not hearing the answer. We want you to trust that you've asked the question and that you mean it, and that the answer is in the vortex, and that life will deliver it to you in a myriad of ways. We want you to understand that words don't teach, that it's only life experience that teaches. We want you to come to feel the fullness of who you are. We want you to be happier more of the time. We want you to want to be happy more than all other things put together. We want you to understand that the laws of the universe are consistent, and that, as our scientist friend says, that they are unequivocal, that they represent themselves and replicate themselves accurately in endless ways. We want you to get hold of a concept and then play it out and watch the ramifications of the way you're molding it. We want you to have fun in the molding of the thought in the same way that you would enjoy the molding of the clay. We want you to embrace this physical life experience in its fullness. We want you to see this world through the eyes of Source. We want you to be in this body, but we want you to be in concert with the Source who is with you about the things that are important to you. We want you to care more about being happy than about being right. We want you to care more about feeling love than somebody else understanding you. We want you to care less about anybody else understanding you who is still in physical form, and to feel the blending of non-physical. That's the thing that Esther is enjoying so much about Jerry, because she cared about his opinion. She jumped through hoops for him. She adored him. She wanted to please him. She did everything in her power to help his life be happier. And one day she said to him, "You make me so happy." And he said, "It's not my intention to make you happy. I just don't want to get in your way of happiness." And that was the most profound thing that any human's ever said to any other human. Just stay out of each other's way. Don't be their reason. Don't try to control them or understand them. Let your connection with who you are matter most. And so this conversation is a really important one, because we can feel that that's what you're reaching for. You're wanting to understand non-physical. But don't try to understand it in a physical sense. Don't try to understand it in a conditional sense. Understand it in an unconditional sense. Understand it in an emotional sense. You called out, "I want to know about
reincarnation
and love
and oblivion."
And so this conversation is about alignment, which is love. It's alignment, which is worthiness. It's alignment, which is clarity. And it is unconditional, which is odd to have a conversation with those like you here in an environment surrounded by conditions and have someone harping at you to be less conditional. But it's not that we do not want you to explore and experience the deliciousness of conditions and possessions and material and manifestation. It's that we want to show you how to get there in the way that you've intended.